My name's Blaine Price. This is an instructional video on how to team rope. My instructor is Mike Lemons, and this is for the computer and agriculture class. Whenever team roping, the boxes here you see back here, they're normally 16 feet, but they vary 3, 4, 5 foot forward and back. The header has to stay in the back of the box. This right here, this is your chute. This is where the cattle go. You know, and whenever the header's ready, he nods his head. The chute man lets out the steer. You gotta get on a little head start, and right here, it comes across this line. There's a rope that it tells you it connects from pole to the chute, and then you put a rope around their neck so you can tell exactly how far to let them out. And if you start too early, what happens is that rope connects here, and the rope goes in here and a pin goes through it like this. And if you start too early, it'll jerk that pin out and it'll break the strings off of the barrier. The barrier is a 3-part. You got a little rope about this size, and then the rest of it goes from that pole all the way up until right here, and you tie that rope and the little bitty rope together. And then you come back here and the rope comes down here and around and it goes on their neck. And that's how the barrier works. You'll come around here.
Okay, what do they call the barrier? The Hallettsville barrier.
Yeah, Hallettsville barrier.
And it was designed by a lawyer in Hallettsville, Texas.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
Yes,
good.
This is your main ingredient to team roping right here. This right here, this is your bit. It goes in the mouth. This right here that connects to the bit is their bridle. And this right here, this is their tie down. And this strap, it'll go underneath them right here so they can't raise their head up too high and get all in your way. This is your saddle pad and blanket, cinches and all that other such. And this is your rope. This piece right here, it's usually pig skin or something like that, and it's called your burner. And this that your rope slides through, this is your Hondu. And then this is a Heat Classic extra soft, and this is what I had with. When choosing a head rope in the store, they'll have zip ties on them. You want to get one where the eye is either here or a little off to the right. If it's over here to the left, what happens is whenever you break it in, that Hondu ends up staying like this. So it's very important whenever you're picking out a rope, make sure that everything is right on your rope. When roping, you want pretty good size. There's a few things to remember whenever you're trying to rope a steer. It's for one, you have to have a flat, level swing ground, and whenever you're delivering, you always deliver with your pinky, and then you finish with your index finger. So basically, I'll show you over here on the dummy.
Show us how you keep the loop open. Show us a little about the spoke of your rope. Okay.
Spoke. What the spoke is, It's what's in between the Honda and your hand. So right here, I don't have that much spoke. What happens whenever you do that is your rope gets too big and your rope ends up crossing over like that whenever you're trying to rope.
Okay, thank you.
If you have that much spoke, when you go to feed, usually your Honda will slide and it'll end up like this, and you can't rope like that. You know, I always learned before I could handle a rope, hand goes at 12 o'clock, Honda goes at 3 o'clock. And that's just the right amount. And when you're feeding, you got these two strands here, two lays. It's almost impossible to learn how to feed a rope with it laying just like this. What you want to do is whenever you get it, you want to cross this left strand over the right strand and hold it like this in your hand. And don't just grasp on it, just let it lay in your hand there. And whenever you're learning how, just kind of play with the rope at home. You can just learn how to feed. You know, whenever I first learned how to rope, I never learned how to feed until I got pretty good at catching and tip control and being able to catch horns. I then started learning how to feed. So it's not the end of the world if you can't feed a rope right now. But right here, I'll show you on this dummy. What you want this to do, you want this rope, you want it to come in and you want to cover that right horn and come over this left horn, and then you'll pull it tight. Finished finished results look a little like this. You know, tip control is everything. You know, without tip control, you can't catch anything. So, you know, I have a lot of tip control with my rope, so it doesn't matter what I do. I could be swinging just like an idiot and still catch those horns because of my tip control. You know, when you're first starting out, the biggest deal whenever you're coming up to a steer and swinging your rope, you want that rope